I don't believe that we should make our bed very first thing in the morning. All right, so took a shower, didn't wash my hair, I'm gonna get ready for the day. I got my straightener plugged in, probably curl it because that's what's gonna hold today. But while I do my makeup, get ready, I want to just talk about self-care because I think that's something that's really important, especially in the environment that we live in today. You know, the world is a little bit crazy, going through a pandemic. So I think self-care is something that we need to take into account for ourselves to make sure that we are staying healthy, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. The reason I think it's really important to talk about self-care is that there is already so much pressure, especially on women, to wear so many hats. You know, obviously everyone is different, but we're expected to be able to do many, many things and play many, many roles in our lives. And that can sometimes be exhausting. So talking about self-care is something that I just really, really strongly believe that we need to talk about more. I really struggled with this for a long time because to me, self-care meant, you know, taking a bubble bath or give myself a facial or getting my nails done. But it goes into a lot more than that. Self-care really extends beyond just the pretty stuff. Though I think it's important to make sure that we account for those things as well, because they are equally as important. So let's get the pretty ones off the table first. Obviously, working from home, doing my makeup isn't entirely necessary. And By no means do I feel the need to put on a whole lot. Sometimes it's just to make sure when I look in the mirror, I don't look as tired as some days I feel. I feel pretty good today. The act of getting ready in the morning is just something that, makes me feel like I'm ready to tackle the day. And whatever that looks like for you, I think even working from home, it's important that we take those measures and the time to do those things that make us feel good. Other things when it comes to self-care, these are all things that we know that we need to be doing, that we should be doing, that make us feel a whole lot better. But it's taking care of this body that we have. By no means am I no fitness expert. Well, I know what makes my body happy when it comes to working out. I know what makes my body happy in terms of what it is that I'm eating. But I think that we all have a general understanding that we need to be moving our bodies, probably more, all of us, probably more than we already do. And we need to be cognitive of the things that we put into our bodies. It's important that we're getting enough water so that our body feels fueled and, hydrated and able to function at its best. That's something we just all need to do. A few of the other areas of self-care, though, that I think are not talked about enough outside of like our physical and how we present ourselves to the world and for ourselves is the spiritual and the mental. So often we can look well taken care of and loved on the outside, but if we're not cognitively choosing to work on the inside stuff, then that can deplete our love tank. So having a good spiritual and mental routine, I think, is something that's so important. So one of the really big things in mental health and well-being is limiting the amount of social media exposure. Now, don't get me wrong, I believe in this adventure that I'm pursuing in terms of, creating a YouTube channel and building our business on social media. It is important to acknowledge that those spaces are critical to the new foundation of how businesses network and market. So I'm still on social media, but I realize that the scrolling, like the mindlessly, you don't even know what you're looking for anymore scrolling, or you're not even reading things, or you're not even engaging. I realized that doing those things were a little bit toxic, and especially, with everything going on, there's so many extreme views out there that it can sometimes be very mentally exhausting. Whether it be for a weekend or a specific time frame each day or whatever it needs to look like to you, I definitely recommend doing some kind of unplug or limited access. I know for myself personally, I just took the Facebook and the Instagram apps on my phone and I just moved them into a file inside of a file inside of a file. So it's not that I can't go on there on my phone, it's just that if I choose to do it, I'm doing it more by choice and not just by instinct and habit. That is a huge level of self-care, especially that relates to the world that we live in today. The other really big self-care things that I've taken into practice is having a gratitude journal. Just taking the time to list off all the things that you're grateful for. If you can't be grateful for what you have now, you close that door to be able to receive in the future. Alongside gratitude, journaling is another way that I practice self-care. What journaling has allowed me to do is basically take the things in my head, basically get them out, do a brain dump. If there's something going on in my life that's really bothering me, then I'll take 5-10 minutes to write what's bothering me, why is it bothering me, what kind of things come up, what kind of past experiences are creating this new barrier or this new struggle. And by being able to take it out of your brain, you're able to evaluate something almost like from a third party stance. All of a sudden, you can look at your challenges from an objective standpoint. But whatever the case might be, it is so important that we make time for reflection and gratitude in our day. I think those things at the very least are really important. Another pillar of self-care that I believe is very important, and that more people, especially women, obviously men are not excluded from any of this. They should all, they should consider self-care, as it relates to their needs as well. But learning to say no. I find for a lot of business owners, self-employed people, even non-self-employed people, mamas have this challenge, but acknowledging how big your capacity is and choosing to say no to the things that don't serve you or that you can't truly commit to. So often I think that we're conditioned to believe that we should just be able to do it. You can do it, you can do anything. If someone asks something for you, you need to be able to serve and give. But I also think it's important to acknowledge when you don't have any more capacity. I find this falls under two different categories. First off, committing to something that you can't do, or you just know that you can't do properly, is going to affect you in the long run when it's not a success. Either you're going to burn yourself out doing it, you're not going to give it the attention that it deserves and the quality that it deserves from you. You're also setting yourself up for failure. Either what you commit to is not going to be up to your standards, or you're going to end up finding that you're sacrificing part of your own self-care and the things in your own life at the expense of someone else. Now, obviously, if you have capacity for something and it's something you want to do, do it. But just learn to be honest with yourself about what you can take on right now, and what things you need to either delegate or completely let go of. Another area of self-care is to re-engage with who you are as a person. Oftentimes, even for myself, I find that I'll get so caught up in work or making sure that the house is good or things like that I don't make time for things that bring me joy. So whether it be scheduling coffee with a girlfriend, or maybe it's going to that yoga class or leaving the house to go to the gym, whatever it looks like that brings you joy, remembering to book time in your schedule just for those special things, the things that get you out of the house or build your community. It's important that we make time for those. As a standard, I try and at least book 2 coffee dates with friends a week. Obviously, if I can fit in more, I'm gonna. But making time for those things that bring you joy and remind you that you are more than just your career. You are more than just a wife. You are more than just a friend. You are more than just the house cleaner. Whatever role that you plunk yourself into, you are so much more than that. And we never want to get to a point where we lose identity with one of those things, and then all of a sudden we lose sight of who we are as a person. I see it so often with people and clients that when they hit big milestones in their life, like no longer having children in the home, so becoming an empty nester, or losing our job, or choosing to retire, so many people ask themselves, now what? Because they didn't invest enough time to figuring out what their interests are outside of this career platform that they've given themselves. So I think that the sooner we can take the time to do that stuff and explore that stuff, the better we will be and the better that we will feel. Another area of self-care that I think is really, really important that we acknowledge as well is to take care of our body business. And I'm talking like the medical stuff. If you've got something going on with your body or your mental health that's not working, you need to make it a priority to deal with that stuff, because it's your body you know, having that pain is holding you back from other areas of your life. So I encourage you, if there's something, you know, not working, something's not moving as it is, something hurts, book an appointment with your doctor and go and talk about those things. Get those things off your plate, get those things dealt with so they can stop holding you back from the other more important things in your life, because I can't imagine putting these things off is going to make them any better. So I'm glad that I had the chance to share these things with you while I'm getting ready and practicing a little bit of self-care myself. The stronger that we are physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, the stronger we can perform in our lives, not just for ourselves, but for those who depend on us as well. So while I was getting ready, I had a couple parcels delivered. So I'm gonna clean the kitchen, make some lunch, and then I'm excited to open these. So it's 2:30, I'm finally getting around to eating lunch. I didn't realize how late it was. The kitchen is now clean, but the bedroom still looks like that. So I will get to that as soon as I'm done eating. I got 2 parcels that came in. And it was funny because I got 1 ring to the intercom for FedEx. So I was like, okay, great, FedEx. And then 2 moments later, I got another one. So I figured the intercom just didn't work, so he was rebuzzing. Turns out it was a second FedEx guy. But these are our photo albums for the wedding. So we're still waiting on 1 more. We've got the photo albums that came in for our parents as gifts. We were able to customize each photo album to hold the pictures that are most relevant to them, which is awesome, because then we were able to really uniquely personalize them, and I like that. And then we got a whole bunch of other things. So we got a bunch of free prints that we were using as thank you cards, and then we got a bunch of free things. We got a bunch of magnets that came with it. I'm gonna plaster them all over the fridge and Jason can come home and see them, but this is probably one of my favorite. It's got a beautiful picture of Dexter looking fine. It's fine, I'm fine, everything is fine. Sometimes you just need something funny and exciting and happy to look at to make your day. They're not a sponsor by any means. I went on the wedding group and asked which company they recommended going with, went with Shutterfly. It ended up being a lot more expensive because they ship from the States, so their free shipping didn't apply to Canadian shipments. But after spending the hours that we did building all the photo books, we'd have paid almost anything. It turned out really good. I can't wait to slap all these all over the wall. You can see them, but like, how cute are these pictures from our engagement photo shoot? Oh, love it. Yeah, the quality's there. I'm happy. How cute are we? And then the photo albums. Oh, I'm so excited. And based on the cover, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna save some of the surprises for Jason. Can't take all the fun away from him because he's not here today during the day working from home to be able to appreciate this moment as much. So we're gonna leave it at that.